Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Takara Tomy Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary set. It's been a while since I've talked about a Takara Tomy Jurassic Park figure, and it's been a while since I've done a Jurassic Park video as a whole. I reviewed that Mattel, Red Rex homage figure they did, I think back in May, I want to say, June, May, something like that. And I uploaded my big review of Jurassic Park, for its 30th anniversary. But yeah, ever since then, I've just been mainly sticking to, Godzilla related stuff and, Gamera and Ultraman. Well, kind of Ultraman. You get my point, though. I have been really, doing too many Jurassic Park related stuff. And I don't know, I guess part of the reason for that is because, I don't know, I think, it's a shame. Jurassic Park's 30th anniversary is kind of a flop. I'm not gonna lie. Again, that, line that Mattel did, the 93 Classics line, that was great. And we are, getting, re-releases of Jurassic Park, for the Super Nintendo, and Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues, for the Super Nintendo as well. We're getting, a re-release for, modern consoles at some point, which, that's really cool. And we're likely going to get, a theatrical release, a very limited theatrical release. So, we are getting some stuff that's cool, but for the most part, it's yeah, I don't know. Most of the stuff coming out for Jurassic Park's 30th anniversary is just kind of lame to me. I'm not going to lie. Not to mention, Jurassic World Dominion really just kind of broke me. It left me dead inside, I'm not gonna lie. Again, I still love Jurassic Park. It will always be my favorite movie of all time. Do not get that twisted. But I just think the 30th anniversary this year is just a little bit of a flop. But that's just me. Anyway, I've been rambling on for too long, so let's just get right into this. I don't normally talk about the packaging whenever I make my figure reviews, but I kind of want to this time because I actually really like the packaging that this set comes in. I love all of the colors here. All the blues and reds and yellows I think is just very vibrant. I think it just pops out beautifully. And even with all the figures in the packaging, everything looks really compact and everything just looks really organized. And yeah, overall I just think this is really nice looking packaging. Now, of course, we have the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary logo here, Takara Tomy. New T-Rex JP version, Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor, authorized personnel only. And again, T-Rex JP version, Dilophosaurus, Velociraptor. We have some Japanese writing here. I'm assuming this part says 30th anniversary because, the 30 there, and it's Jurassic Park's 30th anniversary, so I can only assume it says 30th anniversary right here. But anyway, the side of the packaging here, again, we have the really nice Jurassic Park 30th anniversary logo, the JP30 logo here, and Takara Tomy. Again, some more Japanese writing down here. On the other side here, we have ass. I don't know why they zoomed in on that part of the logo, but they did. So, not gonna question it. Not gonna question it. Based. Anyway, the top of the packaging here, we have a close-up of the Jurassic Park logo here. Again, it's just so nice to see the, just this classic yellow logo again. It is a huge breath of fresh air after Jurassic World Dominion. But anyway, again, we have some more Japanese writing here. New T-Rex JP version, Dilophosaurus Velociraptor, JP30. On the back here, we have a nice silhouette here, of all the figures you can get in the set. T-Rex JP version, Dilophosaurus, Velociraptor. A lot of this just renders from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, that's the, render from, of Rexy from Fallen Kingdom, and that's the Brachiosaurus. Some stock, raptor, renders here, which I don't really get, but, whatever, I guess, it's cheaper, so, I mean, whatever, I guess. I would have preferred, something else here, but, again, just, it is what it is. And another thing, just one more really weird thing I want to point out here. That Parasaurolophus there next to my thumb, that is actually the Jurassic World Dino Rivals Parasaurolophus figure, the one that Mattel did all the way back in 2019. So, yeah, I just think it's kind of weird just seeing that there. I don't know. I feel a little more effort could have, went into, making something cool here, but instead it's just a bunch of stock renders and it just doesn't look that great. But Still not terrible, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Um, a few minor things that I think is like a little weird here, but for the most part, like all the colors here, and like I just think this packaging looks great, and I just wanted to quickly talk about it. Now, going to the actual figures themselves, of course, we're going to take a look at the paint first, and we're going to start off with Rexy. And the painting on her, I think, looks good. Like the figure, like all the parts here are casted in this reddish material, which I think looks nice. The upper side of the figure here, we have a bunch of really nice looking like airbrush like stripes going down, and they go all the way to the end of the tail here, which is really nice. The toenails here, the dew claws, and the fingernails even are painted black. Going to the head here, we can see that the eyes are painted yellow with black pupils. The teeth here are painted this yellowish whitish color, which I think looks nice. And of course, the inside of the mouth is painted this pinkish color. And lastly, one thing to point out: the underside of this figure is painted white, and for some reason, we have D23 here, which I don't get it. I don't get why you put that on your figure, but I digress. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. It looks nice, though I would have preferred something more movie accurate. Like, again, like just like with Mattel, they're kind of trying to pay homage to the original Red Rex, which is cool, but it was cool when Mattel did it because it was big, electronic, and like rubber, just like the Red Rex. And this is just like, I mean, the sculpting here, well, we're not at the sculpting yet, but like it looks closer to the Red Rex than, Mattel's T-Rex, but I don't know, I would have preferred more movie accurate colors, but still. That's pretty much it for the painting on the T-Rex here. Not terrible, but I still would have went with something else. So the painting on this figure, I'd say gets 3/4 of a pass. Now we're going to move on to the Dilophosaurus, and the painting on this figure is, they didn't really try here. Let's take a closer look. So as you can see, all of the parts here are casted in this very like bright shade of green, which I think looks nice, and even like all the dark bits I think looks okay. In the movie, the Dilophosaurus had a lot of like intricate like patterns as far as like this dark coloration went, and I get like translating that to a figure like this would be kind of hard, so I understand that. But the least they could have done is just like outlined all the dark green with white. That I think would have looked nice, but no, they just kind of left it as is, and it just doesn't really look that nice. The back of the frill here looks decent though. They just a lot of airbrushing here, so that doesn't look too bad. One thing that is pretty bad though, they actually just didn't paint any of the nails on this figure, so the dew claws here, the toenails, and the fingernails just completely left, just unpainted, which really, really lame. I'm not gonna lie, but I digress. Anyway, going to the head here, the frill here looks nice. Both the frills. This really nice airbrushing yellow here I think looks great, and again all of the bits of red for the patterns here just looks really nice. Going to the head here, taking a closer look, the eyes are painted yellow with black pupils. The teeth here are just white, not like a yellowish white, just white, which I would have preferred if they were like a yellowish whitish color, like with Rexy, but no, it's just a regular white, so it looks a little too clean in my opinion. And also, the tongue and the rest of the inside of the mouth is painted a slightly glossy pinkish color. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the painting on this figure, like, they could have done more. So the painting on this figure, like, it doesn't look terrible, but the painting on this figure, I'd say gets like half a pass. Now we're going to take a look at the painting on the Raptor here, and the painting here I think looks really nice. Probably my favorite paint jobs out of the three figures included. This entire, like, all the parts here are casted in this bright shade of brown, which, I think looks good, and all the darker parts of the figure, like, on top here, like, nicely airbrushed, and it does look pretty close to what we see in Jurassic Park, and even, like, all the stripes here on the tail. Looks great. The toenails, the fingernails, and even the dew claws are painted black, which is really nice. And then going to the head here, we can see that the eyes are painted green with black pupils. The tongue here is painted pink, and again, the teeth here are a yellowish whitish color, which I think looks nice. You know, it's better than just white, unlike the Dilophosaurus. But anyway, for some reason, there's just a pink spot right there on her nose, which looks a little weird, but I digress. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. The painting on this figure, I mean, besides this little blemish here, I think the painting on this figure looks really nice and definitely my favorite in the set. So the painting here, I'd say gets a pass. So that's pretty much it for the painting on this set. I think my favorite as far as paint jobs go would have to be my raptor here. I think the painting here looks nice, besides this little blemish on the nose here. And my least favorite would probably be the Dilophosaurus, because they didn't really try that hard. The T-Rex looks okay, but I would have preferred something more movie accurate and not, something as close to the Red Rex, as it is. Because again, we got Mattel, they did their thing with the Red Rex. I think this is just a little bit overkill, but that's just me. Anyway, overall, I'd say the painting on the set, like, overall gets, like, 3/4 of a pass. Like, the painting here, I think, is really strong. Kind of fumbles a little bit here, but then they just didn't even try with the Dilophosaurus. So, overall, I do think that, the painting on this set gets 3/4 of a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on these figures are pretty much the same, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Both the T-Rex and the Dilophosaurus and the Raptor, like all three of these guys mostly have the same articulation. We have some articulation in the jaws here. The legs can move individually, like with Rexy here and with the Raptor. And we have two different joints for each of their tails. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for these two. The Dilophosaurus is a little bit different. I mean, the Dilophosaurus, it still has the same leg articulation and still the same jaw articulation here. The tail's a little bit different because there's only one joint in the tail and not two, like with the Raptor and the T-Rex. But that's okay because the frills here are actually on ball joints, which is pretty cool. And if you wanted, you can take them off to have a frillless Dilophosaurus, but you have these really big holes here, which noticeable, but the option's still there at least, so that's at least commendable. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation on these figures. The articulation here isn't bad. Like these guys, they don't really have a lot of joints. It's mainly just like, the tails, their legs, and their jaws, with the exception of the Dilophosaurus. But still, like, it's simple, these are just little Jurassic Park dinosaur toys, and yeah, the articulation here, it's simple. It's all it really needs to be. So overall, I think the articulation on these figures, I'd say gets a pass. Now we're going to take a look at the sculpt, and to start, of course, we're going to start with Rexy. And the sculpting here, I think, is pretty much perfect. I mean, yeah, like, you can see the joints in the tail and, like, the joints in her jaw, but still, I think, like, the proportions here are pretty much perfect. I think, her feet aren't too big, her tail isn't too short or anything like that. In fact, I actually think this looks, pretty close to the Stan Winston artwork for, the T-Rex for Jurassic Park. So, yeah, the sculpting on Rexy, I think, is pretty much perfect, so no complaints here. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about the Dilophosaurus. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't really look great either. First of all, the tail I do think is a little too short. And it's weird, they just kind of curved it for some reason. I don't know if this was just like make it, fit in the box, but still it doesn't really make the tail look any longer. In fact, it makes it look a little shorter. So yeah, the tail length I think could have been longer. And also, the feet are way too big on this figure. Again, like Rexy, you saw she had like pretty small feet, but she was still able to stand nicely. But again, they just gave the Dilophosaurus here just really, really big feet. And one more thing I don't like about the sculpting here, I think the head looks really off. Like, for some reason, there's like, this chin just looks like weird. It doesn't, like, the crests I think look nice, but besides that, like, yeah, I don't think the head here looks nice. Yeah, another thing to point out, it looks like they kind of gave the Dilophosaurus, like, kind of like spikes on her back here, which the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park did not have this. I don't know why they included that. So, yeah. The sculpting on the Dilophosaurus, not so great. One other thing to point out about the Dilophosaurus that I forgot to mention is that the joints for the jaws here actually stick out like way more than they should. In fact, you can like see them like when you look at her head on. So this just looks like a weird Frankenstein monster here. The sculpting on the raptor I think is better, but it's still not really perfect. For one, I think the arms here are way too long. Now, the reason why the arms are really long on this figure is because this figure actually like can't really like stand on her own. She just like always falls forward. She's very front heavy. So I think they made her arms long so that way like she's like on all fours, but it like kind of gives the illusion that she's standing on her two legs, which I mean, I get what they're going for, but I don't know. I wish they just kind of refined this figure more to make it that way she could just, stand on her own. But still, it is what it is. Another thing to point out, actually, this is actually a repaint of a figure. I think for Fallen Kingdom, Takara Tomy did some Jurassic World figures, and this is actually blue. Of course, like Jurassic World, obviously it's going to be blue, but this is actually blue. And like going into this, I was a little worried that this is just going to be like blue, but with like the, Jurassic Park raptor colors, but no, the sculpting here actually looks like kind of different, like with the head here. Because in Jurassic World, like Blue has these like little scales on the back of her head, which it doesn't look terrible, but like just a little unnecessary. But they're actually not here, as you can see. It's just plain. And even the head, like I think the snout is a little too long, but still, I think like it looks like pretty like it looks closer to the Jurassic Park raptors than it does the Jurassic World raptors, which is really nice. However, when the mouth is closed, this figure does look a little weird. Like it looks better when her mouth is open, but when her mouth is closed like that, it looks a little strange, especially when you look at it from the front. Her jaw is a little crooked. So, yeah. Anyway, besides that though, I still do like the sculpting here. The sculpting on the raptor here I think looks very nice, considering. So that's pretty much it for the sculpting on these guys. My favorite would definitely have to be Rexy, because I think like the sculpting there I think is just, perfect, no issues whatsoever. The raptor is my second favorite, but still like some minor issues that I'm not particularly too keen on. And of course, the Dilophosaurus is my least favorite as far as the sculpt goes, because they just some weird design choices with her. I just think it's weird. But regardless, overall, I'd say the sculpting here overall, I'd say gets 3/4 of a pass. Like Rexy is perfect sculpt wise, and even the Raptor looks good. It's just the Dilophosaurus that kind of drags everything down a little bit, And even then, like the Dilophosaurus doesn't look terrible, but it's still not that good. So overall, I think the sculpting here gets 3/4 of a pass. Now we'll take a look at the detailing. So starting off with Rexy here, the detailing on this figure I think looks very nice. So let's take a closer look. All the detailing in her face here looks great. All of the scales and all the little like creases and like crevices in her face there I think are very nicely defined. And even going down to her neck here, again we just have a lot of really nice musculature here in the neck, and all of like the creases and everything throughout the figure just looks really nice. The arms are detailed nicely as well. Again, a nice bit of musculature there. And again, all just the scaling and everything here just looks really nice. Going to the legs here, again, just a lot of really nice musculature here. And just a lot of really nice, creases. They could have been a little more defined here, but still, like, the detailing here still is not terrible whatsoever. And even her feet are detailed very nicely. Going to her tail here, again, there's just a lot of really nice detailing here. All of the musculature underneath looks great, and all of the creases and everything are detailed very nicely. So, yeah. And also, I forgot to point out, the inside of the mouth is also detailed pretty decently as well. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for the detailing on Rexy here, and overall, I'd say it's pretty good. Now moving on to the Dilophosaurus here, the detailing is actually nice. Taking a closer look at the head here, we can see all the bits of scaling on her face here and all the little creaks and crevices like on her crest there and whatnot I think are detailed very nicely. And even her frill has a fair bit of detailing here as well. It looks good. Her neck here, again, all the little like wrinkles and whatnot are detailed very nicely. Very well defined here too. And even her arms have a fair bit of detailing there as well, which looks great. And again, throughout the body here, we just have a lot of really nice bits of like creases here and a lot of scaling here, which just looks great. And even like the legs here, again, just a lot of really nice detailing here, and just a lot of really nice creases and like scales like in the feet here and whatnot. And again, like in the tail here, just all like the little like creases and like wrinkles in the skin, just really nicely defined, really nicely detailed, and just a lot of really nice scaling throughout. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Dilophosaurus. Some nice detailing in the mouth here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The detailing here, again, is actually good. Now for the raptor. And just like with the T-Rex and the Dilophosaurus, the detailing here is very nice. So let's take a closer look. So starting off at the head here, we can see all the scales on her face here are very nicely detailed. Everything here just looks very, very neat and very nicely defined. And even her membrane here has a little bit of detailing there, which looks nice. The membrane on each side of her mouth, a lot of nice detailing there. And again, just a lot of really nice detailing here, like all the creases and everything, like on the neck here, detailed very nicely defined. And we just get a lot of really nice looking scaling throughout this figure, like throughout the body here. The arms here are detailed nicely as well. All of the scales on our fingers there, and just a lot of really nice musculature here. Again, I just think the detailing here looks great. And same with the legs here. Again, just a lot of like really nice looking scaling, and just a lot of like really nice like musculature in the legs here. And even our feet have a fair bit of detailing as well. So yeah, it just looks really good. And again, going to her tail here. All the detailing here looks very nice. Just a lot of really nice scaling here, and all the musculature on the underside here. Again, just looks great. And yeah, overall, the detail on the raptor, again, just like with the Dilophosaurus and the T-Rex, looks very nice. And that's pretty much it for the detailing on this set. And they're all pretty much on par with each other, so overall I do think like the detailing here looks good. Like all the detailing here is very nicely defined and just very neat, and overall like the detailing here is just solid. So overall, I'd say the detailing on this set gets a pass. Now we'll do some size comparisons. Here we have the Takara Tomy Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Toro, the Carnotaurus. I hate the Jurassic World movies, and I also hate Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, but if I will say anything nice about any of those movies or shows or whatever, I will say that I do really like the Carnotaurus design. Here we have this Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Captive Zeg. I haven't really opened it, I just kind of left it sealed because I just think it looks nice. Here we have this Jurassic Park Gate, like, plant potter thing that I got a while back. I reviewed it on the channel, actually, but yeah. I don't really know what else to use as size comparison. This is just the best I got besides Toro. So, yeah. Anyway, of course, here we have some hand sanitizer right here. And, of course, here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So, at the end of the day, should you get this set? I'd say yes. I think this is a very nice quality set. Some minor things I would have done differently. Like the painting in some parts could have been better. The sculpting could have been touched up a little more. And overall, there are some minor things I would have done differently. But overall, I still do think that this is a nice set. I'm not looking for like anything like too high quality or anything like that. This is just like a little like, just a little set of like little like toy dinosaurs. So obviously it's not going to be like the most high quality thing out there. But still, for what it is, I think overall I think the quality here is pretty good. I do like it. As far as price tags go, I paid about $20 for this set before shipping. I ordered this set from HobbyLink Japan, though it isn't really available there anymore, so I don't really know where else you can get this set, unfortunately. But I do know that I did get this set from Hobbylink Japan. If you do want this set, maybe, like, I don't know, I feel like Amazon Japan would have this set, but I'm not too sure. I'm sure if you looked around, I'm sure, like, you could find, like, a better, like, online retailer that sells this set, or at least, like, you know, imports it to the US, but still, I do think that this is a nice set, and for 20 bucks, again, not bad at all. Actually, when I bought the Takara Tomy Toro, the Carnotaurus figure, I think I remember paying, like, I think like $14 like total for just that one figure. So the fact that we get like three of the same figures in this set, well, not the same, but like the same like brand of figures in one set for just 20, I think that's a pretty good deal. So yeah, I do recommend that you get this set. You know, again, some minor things I would have done differently, but overall, I think that this is a very nice set, and I do recommend that you pick it up. But I digress. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.